Yo, what's good, YouTube? And welcome back to another video. Kind of very different from what I have been doing. It's kind of just been gaming. But today, as y'all can see by the title, we are going to try to predict the standings for the 2025-2026 Premier League table. As you can see here, I'm going to try to switch some things up because I don't think this is exactly how it's supposed to be. But we got champions qualifying for UCL, second to fifth. I think those are the people that qualified. Then we got Europa League. Then Conference League is seventh, I still believe. Seventh to 10th. Then we got mid-table, right above relegation. And then we got relegation zone right here. 20 teams. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't done any of this before. So this is gonna be my first time trying to predict the Premier League season for the following season. And then, end of the season we could come back, look at this, see what I got wrong, see where kind of what I got right. But we're gonna try to go from 20th to 18th and see where we go from there. But we gonna see 20th place. Um Now who got up? Leeds, this is Aston Villa. Leeds, Sunderland, and Burnley, I believe. No, that's not Aston Villa. That's Aston Villa. No, this is Burnley. Okay, why is Burnley right here? Leeds, Burnley, and Sunderland are the three that came up. Previous 2 years, the three teams that came up went down. I believe last year was Ipswich. Ipswich. Who even came up? Who came up last year? Ipswich was definitely one of them. Southampton was another, and Leicester was another. They all went down the previous year. I believe Burnley came out the previous year as well and went down. Then they had Luton as well. They went down, and I can't for the love of me remember the third team. But as my first team to get relegated, 20th position actually, I'm gonna go Leeds. I don't really know. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I watch championship football. I really don't. But out of everybody, I think Leeds is the team I'm going with. They have came up before, but low key, I feel like they'll go straight down this year as well. I don't know why. That's just my gut feeling. And at 19th, we'll go Wolves. Now, for Wolves, I'll put them 19th. Or probably 18th to 20th. Obviously, they're all going down, so it doesn't really matter. But I do feel like Leeds are going to be 20th, 18th, and 19th. Wolves, whichever one they decide to be, it's up to them. But Wolves, I feel like them with them losing Cunha as well as out Nori. I feel like they haven't really found any replacements for them, and they've been on a steady decline in the previous seasons. I feel like last season, I don't want to. What did they finish last season? Let me actually pull up Premier League table 2024-2025. Where did they finish last season? They didn't finish high. I know that for a fact. Why did 2023-2024 come up? 2024-2025. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Table and standings. Where did they finish last season? Wolves finished 16th last season with 42 points. So they've been on a steady. I feel like obviously the season before that they finished higher, but I have them getting relegated this season. They've been in the Prem for a minute, and I feel like this season is finally the season that they go down. And finally, if it had to be any team, unfortunately, Burnley, I'm going with you. Only reason I have you here, low key, is because I've seen more from Sunderland than I have from Burnley. Sunderland, I feel like they've made a lot of signings, and when you do make a lot of signings, you tend to go right back down. But out of those two teams, I have Burnley going down, and Sunderland, I mean, they'll be right there at 17th, not really right above. But I feel like these four teams, they're going to be battling relegation. I feel like Sunderland will just low key sleep by and stay in the Prem. I don't have all three of them going down on Wolves. I'm sorry it had to be y'all, but hey, I'm sorry it had to be y'all. And then right above them, Michael, 16th. I want to go Brentford with them losing Mbuemo and Wissa. He Loki could be on the he could Loki be on the outs as well. Oh, Zach said Brentford is above. Yeah, low key, I feel like Brentford will be right above them. I don't feel like they're gonna be in those like relegation zones, but I feel like they'll be in 16th. Um, not quite a few points above Sunderland, but not quite, in those battling relegation. I feel like with them losing Mbuemo, they've lost Thomas Frank as well. Thomas Frank was their coach, right? I'm not just making that up in my head. Thomas Frank, Thomas Frank was definitely their coach, I believe. Yeah, Brentford, he was there for 7 years, and I feel like with them losing Thomas Frank, I don't know who their new manager is if I'm keeping it a buck, but yeah, I have Brentford at 16th. And yeah, I don't really got much else to say. Now mid table. What we feeling mid table, chat? If I had to choose Spurs bottle jobs, yeah, but I don't feel like they'll be. I feel like last season was low key a fluke. I don't feel like they'll be anywhere above anywhere near here coming next season. So low key, if I had to choose, I might go West Ham. Look, West Ham, they're pretty much an aging squad with they have Bowen still, they have who else do they even have on their team? They have I think James Ward Prowse is still there. I just feel like when I think of West Ham, I think of an aging squad. They could still get the job done, but like Somerville, he hasn't really, taking that leap that you need from him. And with Kudos leaving as well to Spurs, I feel like West Ham, they'll be kind of mid-table. Where were they last season? They were 14th, so I'm bringing them down a little bit. Okay, 14. I mean, from 14th to 15th, I feel like they'll be mid-table. They'll be right there in the middle, not doing too much, not doing too little, just cruising throughout the whole season. So I have them 15th as of right now. Now 14th. Oh, this is where things get kind of tricky. 14th. 14th. Who do I have 14th? I might go Fulham, Fulham, if I'm being honest, when I think of Fulham, I can't really think of them even making any signings so far this transfer window. And with the team that they have already, it's kind of like they're just there. They're just there. I think they did quite decently last season though. They finished 11th, so having them 14th is not horrible, but I don't know. I don't know. Fulham, I think they haven't really improved their squad. Fulham feels like an Asian squad as well to me. So yeah, putting them at 14th or no, I feel like 14th is a good spot right now. I could always um change them once I'm done, but Fulham at 14th right now, feel like that's good. Now, low key, I could put Bournemouth at 14th, but I'm gonna put them at 13th. Now look, Bournemouth, I feel like their whole back line is gone. Zabarni gone, Kirkes gone, freaking what's his name? Who went to Real Madrid? What's his face? Why can't Dean Hoyson? He's gone. But I feel like with Bournemouth with Anthony, I believe that's his name, right? Anthony Areola. I feel like with him still being there, they could still do what they need to do. So I feel like where were they last season? I feel like they were kind of I feel like they were top 10 last season, no? Bournemouth and they kind of fell off. Okay. They were top 10. Am I bugging? They were ninth. Yeah, they were ninth last season. Okay. So having them, I feel like they'll drop kind of a few spots this season because pretty much their whole back line is gone. Their right back, I don't really know who their right back is. But with them losing Zabarni, Kirkes, Hoyson, they brought in Petrovic. So that's okay, but I feel like having them at 13th. 13th is okay. 13th is okay. And then at 12th, I have Crystal Palace. I feel like they finished 12th last season as well. With Eze might be leaving, Gahey might be leaving, but they still have Mateta. They still have a lot of quality players. They have Sar, they have Wharton. They still have a lot of quality players, but with Eze and Gahey maybe leaving this transfer window, I don't know. I feel like they finished 12th last season. They might just finish 12th again and maybe make a deep run in the cup. They won the FA Cup last season and the Community Shield this season. So I feel like 12th is a good spot for them. And then finally at 11th, I'm gonna go Forest. I'm gonna go Forest here. I feel like last season, low key, if they finish 15th, I wouldn't be surprised. If they finish 11th, I wouldn't be surprised. But I feel like last season was kind of a fluke with the way that they were in the top four for a majority of the season, and low key towards the end, I believe they finished. Where did they finish last season? They didn't finish in the. I think they finished seventh. They ended up finishing seventh. Yeah, but low key Forest at 11th. They've lost Alanga. Morgan Gibbs White was low key supposed to leave. They've brought in, I believe they're trying to bring in Omari Hutchinson as of today. Today is Thursday. The Premier League starts tomorrow. But I feel like as of right now, um, yeah, I feel like as of right now, 11th is a good spot for Forest. What did my boy say? Bro said for high table has to be Newcastle, Everton, and Spurs. Maybe we'll see. But as we get into the high table, ooh, Everton, now that I think about it, Everton, I might put them at 10th. I might actually put them at 10th. They brought in Drewsbury Hall. They brought in what's the name on loan. Um, Grealish. They brought in Greenish on loan, but other than that, is that what else have they really done this season? I don't really know. Listen, this is all just me. This is all me just speculated. So at 10th, I feel like Everton will be a good spot at 10th. Everton will go be a good spot at 10th. And then ninth, I'm going to put our boys Brighton. I'm going to put our boys Brighton ninth. These could probably be, I'm saying our boys like I'm a Brighton fan. But I feel like these spots right here could be interchangeable. Brighton, they've lost João Pedro. They've lost Estupinian. But will I say I know what signings they've made? Not really, but I feel like they have made a lot of signings. I don't really, most of the teams I don't really follow. So other than like the huge clubs where like obviously you're showing their transfers every single minute, I don't really know a lot of transfers that they've made. But I know João Pedro has gone to Chelsea. I know Estupinian has gone to AC Milan. If they've brought a lot of players in, maybe, who knows. But I feel like ninth Brighton, they always do good. So I feel like ninth, kind of mid table, kind of high table, they'll do good right there. But let me see. Anyways, now I feel like for high table it has to be Brighton, Everton, and Newcastle. Newcastle fell off. We'll get to that. Now, so at eighth, I'll actually have Spurs. I have Spurs at eighth. I feel like they brought in a lot. They brought in a lot of decent players. They brought in, who have they brought in actually? Who have they brought? Who they brought a right winger recently, no? Or is that just in my head? What signing have Spurs made? I feel like they've made some signings, no? Or is that just in my head? Spurs transfers. Have they? Kudus, yes, they brought in Kudus. That's who I was thinking about. I wanted to say Alanga, but Alanga, that's for Newcastle. Yes, that's who I was thinking about. So they brought in Kudus. James Madison, he's out with, I believe, an ACL. Last season, them finishing 17th, I feel like that was a real fluke. I don't see them doing it again. They brought in Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank is a quality manager, but I just feel like they still need a lot more to be able to finish maybe in a Europa League spot. So eighth plus they have Champions League football. We have to think about that. So I feel like eighth It's decent. It's not really horrible. I feel like eighth is like that's the minimum. If you don't finish eighth with Spurs, then I don't know. Something has to give this season. And I know Thomas Frank likes to play five at the back. Um, with what's their face? Van de Ven, Romero. I feel like those are two quality center backs. I don't. Last season, I really don't know what happened to them. Sure, there are rivals, and they give us 3 points every now. Well, not every now and then. They always give us 3 points, but I feel like last season was a big fluke, and I don't see them finishing 17th again. But I also don't see them finishing in the Champions League spot this season. So I feel like eighth is a good, like, decent spot to keep them at. And at seventh, I put Newcastle. Now with Newcastle, this all depends on Isak, cause Isak, he's pretty much saying, "Yo, I don't want to play for y'all anymore. I want to go to a bigger club." Liverpool, pretty much where he might be going to, but can they really get that transfer to go through? Who knows? So I feel like Newcastle, I'm gonna put them at, where is it, seventh? Seventh, right? Seventh, eight, nine, 10. I feel like I'm gonna put them at seventh for right now. Cause if they sell um Isak, they could probably bring in another quality center forward. Jackson is rumored to go there, but that's if Isak is. I feel like Jackson only goes there if they sell Isak. I don't feel like they're gonna bring in Jackson as well as have Isak on the team. So Newcastle, especially with Champions League, I feel like they'll be six. I feel like they'll be seventh. Seventh, I mean, seventh. I'll have them seventh. And as for sixth, Europa League, listen, there's only two teams. I feel like top four is kind of stamped, so it's pretty much between United and Aston Villa. Now, do I feel like United has done enough? United, look, United has made a lot of signings, right? Sesko, their whole front line looks different. It looks promising. Sesko, Bremo on the right, Cunha, the two tens. I feel like they're gonna score a lot of goals, especially more than they did last season. But then you look at their midfield, right? Either Bruno is gonna be playing pretty much every single game. Bruno is gonna be playing pretty much every single game. Who do you pair him up with? Do you pair him up with Casemiro? Do you pair him up with Kobe Mainu? Do you buy Baleba, who's at Brighton, for 125 mil? I don't really. They could, but would you really do that? I don't really know. Hold up, 1 second. My fault. But yeah, you could do that, but I feel like their midfield is I don't know. It's their midfield I'm looking at. And if they finish seventh, I wouldn't be surprised. If they finish seventh or sixth, I wouldn't be surprised. But as of right now, I'm gonna put Man United at six. I feel like they've made a lot of great signings, but I'm looking at that midfield, especially how Amarim wants to play. Ugarte, I'm not really feeling him. Bruno, he could play as a 10, he could drop back, but like that midfield, I feel like they're gonna get overran a lot. So for that reason, I feel like they've made a lot of decent signings, but just not enough to get into the Champions League. But Europa League, I don't know. I feel like Europa League. If they don't make Europa League at least, you just throw the whole team away. Throw the whole team away. And at fifth, obviously, I'm gonna put Aston Villa. Unai Emery. I feel like they are playing in Europe. They're playing Europa League, right? Because they finished sixth last season, so they're gonna be playing Europa League. They finished sixth last season. I'll bump them up a spot. Nothing really much to say about Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins still there. Who else? Jacob Ramsey has actually left. I think he's gone to Newcastle. He's either gone to Newcastle or yeah, Jacob Ramsey has gone, but I don't remember what team he went to. But I know I think he went to Newcastle though. But yeah, Aston Villa. Rashford has left. Asensio's left, but I think they'll still be decent. At fifth, I'll put them right there. Now, top four. Arsenal fourth or third somehow. London Derby though so early. Look, look. This might be hating. This might be a little bit hating, but there's like 25% hating, 75%. I feel like the time has passed. The time has passed, buddy. Arsenal, if they were gonna win a league, I feel like it had to be either last season or the year before. 3 seasons coming in third. I have them fourth. I have them fourth this season, bro. Listen, they've made a lot of great signings. Don't get me wrong. Gyökeres, he's a proper gunman. Definitely a upgrade on Kai Havertz. Nani Madueke, they brought him in. Loki, I thought when we were selling him, y'all gonna see why I put my T, but when we were selling him, I thought he was gonna come in as a a backup for Saka. But now I'm seeing Arteta trying to start him on the left. They have Martinelli. They brought in Zubimendi. They brought in. I'm not gonna sit here and say Arsenal haven't made a lot of signings, but it's like if they were gonna get that top spot, it had to be in one of those 3 seasons that they came in second. I feel like their time has come. They're probably gonna they're gonna be challenging for the title. Don't get me wrong, right? Second to fourth, I feel like they're all gonna be maybe challenging for the title, but I don't know. I feel like Arsenal, the way I'm looking at them right now, they're too. Arteta has kind of had them too like it's his system or die. And you see Martin Odegaard when he's playing, he's kind of like, yo, let me just give it to Saka, let him do his thing. I'm not really impacting the game, but I have to play because I'm the captain. And then Gyökeres, he might not score as much as before. I feel like, yeah, in the Prem, he might get his little 10, 12 goals, but I don't know. I don't think he's cracking anywhere near 20. Who knows, though? He might prove me wrong. But I have Arsenal at fourth right now. They probably have the best center-back pairing in the league, but I don't know. They might prove me wrong. Who knows? But I have them second as of right now. And third, listen. Third, I have Man City. Now look. Y'all might look at me and think I'm crazy, right? Y'all might look at me right now and think I'm crazy. You see Haaland up top. Foden, he kind of didn't have the best of seasons last year, but I feel like he might rejuvenate himself. So you put Foden on the right, Cherky in the middle, whoever wants to play on the left. Then you have Reinders, you have Rodri, but then you look at their back line and low key, I'm not feeling their back line. At their projected back line. You never Pep is a maniac. He could freaking, I don't know, play Oscar Bob at freaking center back because that's just how Pep's brain thinks. I don't know. They're also rumored for Rodrigo. They're also rumored for Rodrigo, but will they get him before the transfer window? I'm thinking right now. I'm not thinking of potential transfers. I'm thinking of what does the team have right now. If they get Rodrigo, look, they might just win the league with 30 points. But as of right now, I'm looking at Man City. I feel like Pep, he did have a down year last year. They did finish third last year, so having him finish third again, it's not really bad. But it's just because it's Pep, you're looking at him and you're like, you could do better. But I have them finishing third, and I could come and bite my words, but with Rodri is injured as of right now, so he's not even gonna start off the season. They brought in James Trafford. Who else? Ederson is still there. I think they're trying to bring in Donnarumma. It's like it's too much stuff happening right now. So I have them sitting at third, but they could easily be again. From 1 to 4, they could easily be challenging for the title. So these could all be interchangeable. Now at second, this is as far as I could put this team right now. And I'm gonna put Chelsea second. But now look, I feel like we're actually going to be challenging for the title this season. But if I put us anywhere at the top, I feel like I will be very biased. But if come this season we are at the top, hey, y'all heard it here first. Y'all heard it here first. But just because of logistics, I'm gonna put Chelsea at second for right now. Look, we've made a lot of quality signings. João Pedro, he's came in and when João Pedro first came in, I was like, he might be a backup for Cole Palmer, because Cole Palmer, I feel like he's playing every 90 minutes. He doesn't get a break. But then you see João Pedro on a 9. He comes in 20 minutes against, I forgot what team he came on against. I think it was, it wasn't Fluminense. Was it it wasn't Fluminense. I think it was, it might have been Palmeiras. Yeah, he came on against Palmeiras in a Club World Cup. 20 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. I was at that game. I was like, oh. Picking up the ball from midfield, passing left, right, running the channels. I'm like, okay. Then you see him start against Fluminense. Outside the box. Rapid. I'm like, oh my God. Second half, Enzo passes it to him. Transition. I'm like, oh my God. Club World Cup final. Think over Donnarumma. I'm like, oh my God. We got R9 up top. Oh my God. Preseason. Bayer Leverkusen. 90th minute. Phew. Then against AC Milan. Header. Phew. I'm like, yo, as much as I love Nico Jackson, this brother's amazing. Then you got Liam Delap. The power on his shots. Fum, fum, fum. Cole Palmer. Caicedo. This is the first time in a while where I'm actually excited for the season to start, because we look like a proper team who could challenge for the title, right? But then Colwill, ACL injury. I'm like, damn. Robert Sanchez, I'm still looking. Robert Sanchez, he has been very good, actually. Very good. And a new winger, too. You might be thinking about Esteval. Either Esteval or Gittins. They've both been. Gittins, he's running at you 10 times out of 10. And low-key, he's a 1v1 demon. Esteval, obviously, he's doing his thing. But then you kind of look at our back line, right? Reece James, don't have no problem with him. Cucurella, I feel like he's been the best left back in the Prem. Argue with a wall, I don't really care. But then you look at our center backs. The only problems I have with this team right now is our goalkeeper. He does have. There's sometimes where I feel like, oh my God, Robert Sanchez, he's doing what he needs to do. But then there's sometimes where he's playing out the back. I'm like, brother, what are you doing? Right? So he does have a bozo gene to him, but obviously doesn't look like we're gonna try to replace him right now. So I have a second, and it's like, what is our best center back pairing? Fofana, he plays like 10 games a season. When he does play, he looks great, but he plays 10 games a season. Levi Colwill is out. Tussin, he's quite decent. Chalaba, he's also quite decent. Body Shield, kind of always injured. Josh Achampong, he's young, so I don't really know if he's going to be starting a lot of games. But I feel like right now, second is the highest I could put us. But if we end up winning the league, hey, don't say I didn't tell you. But now Liverpool, I'm going to put y'all first. But I do have a lot of, I'm not going to say questions, but I do have some questions concerning this Liverpool team. And that is, look, I'm a Chelsea fan, right? So you know every single season we're buying 20 attackers, right? But we're buying these exciting players by the name. We're like, oh, look at our attacking depth, right? But it's like, as much as we buy, can they really gel with the team, right? Can they really gel? Now you look at Liverpool. They didn't sign any players last year. The only player that they signed was Chiesa on loan, and he played 5 games for them. But then you look at this season, Verts for 100 and something million. You got Ekitike, Kirkez. You've bought Frimpong. You've bought. They've spent like 500 mil. I feel like they want to buy Isak as well, and it's like, how much change can you really do to a team before it's like, okay, they need kind of a a grace period to actually gel, know how each other plays. You see Frimpong bombing up the right. Once he does that, you see Kirkhead bombing up the left, and it's like Van Dijk and Konate are just left on no man's land, right? So once they do that, I'm like, I don't know, but you kind of have to because of the quality of players that. Don't get me wrong, they've signed some quality players. Frimpong, Verts, Ekitike, those are all quality players. But at the same time, you have to question, will they gel right away? You know? Will they gel right away? That's kind of my only question with this team. If they do gel right away, you're looking at them going back to back. But if they don't, hey, don't be surprised this is the if this is the if this is the standards at the end of the season. Don't be surprised if this is the standards at the end of the season. Or it's like this. These top three could all, I feel like Arsenal are stamped. I mean, it could go either way. I'm going to be honest. Right? But right now, I have Man City third. I have Chelsea second. I feel like Chelsea are more suited right now to go like a deep cup run. Maybe in the Champions League, they go to like the semifinals or something. But I feel like with Levi Colwill going down, I feel like we just won't win the league quite right now. But yeah, I have Liverpool winning the league. But it's all debatable. But that is my 2025-2026 Premier League predictions as of right now. If y'all new here, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.